What is happening, everyone? Welcome to MRL Fastlane episode number 6. Today we are recovering the Xfinity series that happened last Sunday and Monday. With them being off this week, I think this was actually a really good opportunity for us to kind of talk about it. Much like the Cup Series as well, that race last Saturday, they are also at Bristol. So these guys put on a heck of a show, both the Sunday and Monday guys. However, in two very different circumstances. Sunday, if you hear my pen kind of bouncing around, it's because I have my notes right in front of me, so I like to talk about it as I do. Sunday had 7 drivers. You can see them right here. They had 7 drivers take to the field. However, more did qualify, and some were not able to make it, whether it be work or we had one person actually kind of sleep on in. So we actually have a rule that says if 8 or less drivers are actually in a race, the race moves on from a 50%, which would have been 150 laps, to 25%, which is 75 laps. Now, the reason why this is important, as I go into this actual race, as let them kind of pace on around, is technically you guys do not have to pit. So that was actually really interesting to see how this kind of shook on out. So of course we're going to be starting with the Sunday, since this race did happen first, and this one was the one that we had 7 drivers, as you can see. It was kind of going through the field. We have Xander taking pole position with a momentous lap. You can see it right here. Being a full 10th ahead of the 98 of BS14 cars, which is starting alongside. Of course, being the leader, you can choose what lane you start in, and you want to be on the outside. The outside is the preferred lane here on this game at Bristol. So he chose the outside. That's his prerogative. 98 starting P2. Excellent showing from him, trying to make his way up to the not just the regular day standings, but the combined Xfinity series. Because remember, top 5 in points in that series moves on up to Cup next season. And then you see UK Wildcats, Mo Powell-Cat in the 54, starting P3. If you remember, these two of Xander in the 11 and the 54 of UK, they were battling for the win last Saturday at Bristol. Xander had the best short run, UK had the best long run, and ultimately Xander prevailed. So this was revenge to see if the 54 could actually come about and bring it home. Then right behind Xander here, you have the in-game teammate in the 10 of Justin Shackett. And number 16 down here, you have Pro Trump Train starting P5. The new arrivals, Casey, XXI, and 2242 in the one back here. He is starting P6. This is his first race. Unfortunately, he was on vacation the last time we were around, so he did miss Atlanta, kind of putting behind the 8 ball, but definitely something that he's rebounding now in order to race here. And just by starting, you automatically get points. And then the 51 of Selling Dreams, the newest arrival to bless MRL. He is starting P7 back here. Like I said, 2 drivers away from going the 150 lap distance. However, like I said, the race was still pretty good. So they kind of show you what I was talking about. Dees and Liam did put in a time. They would have lined up 3rd and 4th respectively. However, Dees was the one that unfortunately slept on in, and Liam had work. So these two did not start, which promoted UK up to P3 and Justin Shackett to P4. T-Bird unfortunately was not able to show up, so Trump Train to P5. Casey did show up. Nuka and Napa did not, unfortunately, moving Selling Dreams into P7. So technically from 5th on back, you had the no times. But these two did get last place points, so that is going to be reflected in the points. So because, again, we do have that rule. If you do put it in a lap, you do get last place points. So always put it in a lap, even in case you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I can make it, because crap always happens. So let's kind of shake on out right here. So let's kind of skip ahead to the start. Of course, Xander choosing the top. He wants to get away from the 54, knowing he said in his pre-race interview that the 54 was his main main person of interest throughout this entire race, and you will see why. Of course, you can watch the entire stream from start to finish right here, but I'm just kind of giving you a recap because already you can see UK moving on up into P2 and already setting his sights on the 11. And from here on out, it was a 2-horse race. From here, these two would be dogfighting. Justin Shack could kind of hang out on P3 right now, and you are going to see the amount of pressure that the 54 kind of puts on the 11 here pretty soon, because you can see right there the gaps subtly closing. You can see the different lines, and I think I'm even talking about it right here. The different lines that Xander and UK are running. Sometimes they run different, the same going into the turn, but UK kind of runs a little lower line that allows for more grip, and you can go faster because you're not trying to turn the car as much by kind of keeping up top. So you may think the running up top is a little bit faster. It's actually not. It will, depending on what your preset is. And like I said, one thing I wanted to point out is that this entire lap, or this entire race, like I said, since it is 75 laps, I will tell you right now, there is not a single caution throughout this entire race. So it is 75 laps of continuous green flag racing, and you technically do not have to pit. Now, that doesn't mean you won't pit, because as you can see, like I said, the pressure that is kind of going on, and the different lines. So the 11 kind of bounces off the wall right there. You can show how hard he's running. The 54 is just being patient, running his own line. Skip ahead a little bit. Now the 54 is able to go down low. We go on board with Trump Train to kind of catch up on him, because we heard that there was something going on in the Discord with that. The 54 kind of goes on low. You can see his long run car starting to fill on it. Skip ahead a little bit more. The 51 had a spin. That's right. You can see it in the background. Here, I'm going to rewind that for a second. The pass is done. The 54 is now ahead. So because of that, and then from there on out, then the 11 kind of gets on back on the outside. Now you can just see it's just a battle, just clearing inch by inch, corner by corner, making sure it gets done. There, done and dusted. From here, now the people in the Discord are talking. It's like, okay, my tires are potentially not going to be able to make it. How do we do this? You can see some people kind of backing on down. The 10 right here, showing no signs of slowing down at all. He is trying to get around and kind of force his way through the down underneath the 51. You can show why I say that is you can see how deep he goes into the corner. That's not saving tire. And then you also see the different guys like the 16, who's just doesn't have the handling underneath. But the ones to watch, honestly, were the 1 and the 98. These two would find each other very comfortably and often throughout the entire race. Those two would be the ones, like I said, they are both Xfinity exclusives. Meanwhile, the top 3 currently of UK, Xander, and Justin Shackett are Cup guys. Those two in 4th and 5th right now are the Xfinity exclusives, and they are looking to kind of extend their advantage. Fast forward a little bit. Like I said, these two would be battling, dogfighting with each other. Same thing with the 54 and the 11. Now this time the roles are reversed. The 11 is already behind. He's trying to close on the gap. The 51 makes a stop, knowing that he can't make it on tires. Let's skip ahead a little bit more. The 98 made his way past the 1 and is now kind of setting sail. This is where the 98's pace kind of shows, and you kind of saw it at Atlanta as well. His long run pace is good. It's since he started on the inside bottom. Ooh, yeah, you can see the 1 just was pushing it right there. He was not able to have a good start, lost a lot of positions, dropping all the way back to P5, but he's rallying right now with a long run. However, as you can see with the 51 having fresh tires, they are much faster than everyone else. So skipping ahead a little bit. Now the 98 was having a little bit of handling issues now. And you can see the leaders have come and is looking to put these two a lap down. This is still, like I said, currently 4th and 5th. However, as you can see right now, there is a caution. Oh, sorry, that was the end of the race. My bad. That's right, I forgot. The race is not deemed official until the checkered flag, and as you can see right there, the 54 beat the 11, and you'll see it right here. Yep, right there. Not having the fast lap, but it was dang close, being 0.015 tenth of a lap faster. Casey with P3, BS, and P4. Justin Shackett did not finish P5. Or yeah, he did finish P5. Trump Train finished P6, but he had already left at that point. And then Selling Dreams finished P7. So like I said, Cade, I was actually very hands-on with the work here, and that was much appreciated. So going to the finishing results, as you can see, UK got his revenge from Saturday night and was able to get that win. So now these two are dead even in terms of their Bristol finishes. UK brought it home in Xfinity, meanwhile Xander brought it home in Cup. So because of that, Casey, Justin Shackett and Trump Train were not able to make it on tires. They did have to pit, which allowed Casey and BS to move up 2 whole spots. So Casey taking the final podium position. Excellent show and best result from our Xfinity exclusives with his first start being a podium. That's good. Round of applause right there. BS brings it home in P4. Good job from him. He had some good points to add to his total. Justin Shack and Trump Train, unfortunately, just like I said, did not have quite the handling or the tire wear in order to have a good run at it, and they had to pit, and Selling Dreams already pit, so he was already behind the 8 ball. Dees and Liam did get last place points, so that gets added to their total. Let's go to the points real quick. Because of that, these two have traded wins. You can see it. Where was it? Right here. Xander won Atlanta, and UK won Bristol, meaning these two are tied for the standings. This is our first league point series tie for the championship right now. The season ended right now after 2 races. We would have to... I actually wouldn't know what we would do because they only swap, but they are tied right now, and it's season-long points. It's going to be a juggernaut battle between these guys. So because of that, Justin Shackett is now P3 in the standings, so these 3 positions remain unchanged. So despite Shackett's... I guess in terms of where he was running, which was P3, he only lost 2 spots and therefore only 10 points, so he didn't lose that much. But BS, good job from him, good points day, moves up a position for the day standings. And then Trump Train as well moved up a whopping 4 positions, so good job for them. And just by putting in a lap and not even racing, Dees and Liam were able to move up 2 positions, being 67. Dees is now tied with Trump Train because their finish in Atlanta kind of bounced off of each other right here. So they actually had a... so this is Dees and Trump Train right here. So they essentially just inverse each other right here, finishing 2 positions ahead of each other. So weird how that works on out. So now those 2 are also tied. Kind of like how our 1st and 2nd is now tied, 5th and 6th is also tied. So yeah, good show from him. So yeah, that completes the Sunday side of things. I actually do want to kind of give out a brief set of power rankings for Sunday before we move on for Monday. Now the thing is, for Sunday, is since we only have currently 11 people with points, I'm going to kind of bring out 3 people to watch. So, like, I'm going to put 3 ones to watch and 1 dark horse. And our next race is going to be New Hampshire. So, that is going to be one that is going to be interesting. We're not going to be racing on the 4th of July, so we do have a week off from the series. But in 2 weeks, they're going to be returning to New Hampshire. So, of course, I feel like the 1st and 2nd ones have to be these 2. I mean, it just goes without a doubt right now. If we look to the stats, these 2 are just inversing each other right now. And there's with UK having a slightly better average start than Xander here, I'll probably have to put UK as the number one person to watch and Xander as the number two. Still, though, it's only one position change. So because of that, I have to put these two up here. These two are the ones to watch all season long. These two are going to be knockout, drag out fight for the title here. And then the number three, I'd probably have to give to BS 14 cars. BS, I feel like, is extremely underestimating himself. That's what I'm trying to say. He's overestimating the fact that he doesn't think he has the ability to make it up to Cup next season. Constantly saying that, I'll just be relegated next season. No, I'm not. The stats don't lie. He's consistent, 2 top 5s in 2 starts right now with a pole. And also, spoiler alert, going into the Dover Cup race, he has the pole there, beating out these two guys. So he has pace. His average start is amazing. His average finish, yes, could be a little better, but he's consistent. I have to give BS the number 3 spot in the ones to watch. Now, for the dark horse, it's such a hard call, honestly. I don't want to be like that guy that just kind of goes on down the list, but I feel like the dark horse, since we've only seen 1 start from him, but I have to give it to Casey. I mean, I know Casey personally for coming up on a year now, and Casey is one of those guys that it puts so much effort into everything. Everything that he does. So I know these stats are going to bolster. Yes, I know this was his first start. However, I do think that he is one of the dark horses to watch, and I'm actually going to kind of cheat. I know I said I'm going to give one dark horse. I'm going to give another. Justin Shackett. I mean, he's also very consistent. Like I said, the stats don't lie. Having 1 podium, this was his first podium at Atlanta back here. So good job from him. He has the pace in order to get it done, and he's very. He starts where he finishes, which is like 3rd to 4th range. So the stats don't lie, and so I feel like in New Hampshire, watch for these two. I feel like these two are going to be fighting for the podium the rest of the season, and especially as we go into the day standings. If Casey was able to start at Atlanta, I feel like he would definitely be up here as well. Definitely with BS and Trump Train. I feel like he'd probably slide in a little bit behind BS. But yeah. But sometimes, like I said, life gets in the way. So that completes Sunday. Let's go to Monday. This is the tab right here. So Monday had a bigger field. We actually had 10 drivers here. So we did have 150 laps on docket today. Now, again, there was some that didn't show up, but all the ones that did post times did show up. So, on pole, we had the Cup Series pole sitter, Cyber, with a really good lap. Blakey T, P2, with also a really good lap. Very close in times. Brandon in P3. These two swapped days, and I did actually want to point that out. So, as you can see, Cyber didn't, but Brandon did race on Sunday, right here. And he is counted. Where's the tab? There it is. He is counted in the Sunday point standings. However, his new series is now on Mondays with all of these guys. So because of that, that's why he's up here. So Brandon in the 89, Brian in P3 for the start. Nathan, Agent Orange in P4. Worst Cod in P5. His best qualifying ever. So round of applause for Worst Cod. Piper making his debut start. Same with Blakey T in here. So these two, and actually as well, where was he? it wasn't that Kalen. There was one more whose name is escaping me. But they are making their first start. Other than Cyber, it was Blakey. That's right. So Cyber, like I said, is making his first start here. Blakey's making his first start here. Brandon's making his first start here, and Piper's making his first start here. This is basically how they line on up. From the top 7, 8, 9, and 10, all these guys starting exactly where they are supposed to. All of them showed up. The ones 11th on back technically were on the qualifying, but unfortunately life got in the way and they weren't able to start. So the top 10 started exactly where they were. So good job from that. Blakey T having the inside row here because Cyber is the control car. He decides to take the top. Baseball Kid is looking for a good finish after a disappointment from from Atlanta. He thought he had the win. But he had settled for a podium. So for him, it's disappointing. But hey, a podium's a podium. Blake T and the 5 alongside. Everyone just kind of getting wound up here, trying to get it going because we do have 2 pace laps, and we've been doing that for the Cup Series and the first night of Xfinity. So coming off the corner, Cyber is going to be the control car, and we go at the line, just so everyone knows. And from there, the Cyber had a great jump. You can tell the gear difference between that right there. I didn't actually mention that in the broadcast, but you can actually just see it now. Cyber starting in second gear, while Blakey starting in third. Very interesting to see how all that kind of happened. So other than that, everyone had a pretty good start all around. Blakey T kind of doing what UK did and kind of hounding, found the top and was kind of hounding Cyber for the lead. And then Brandon here was being hounded by Nathan. Worst Cod, Pipe. These five with Kalen in the back right here, he's like over here, would be battling and absolutely... It was a sight to see. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. You can see Blakey's still behind. I do believe the pass has already been made. Nathan moving up to P3. I'll have to be 100% certain on that. Yes, he did. So the top 2 rows have essentially swapped positions as Blakey is looking down bottom. You can tell that kind of like there is a friendly joke we have amongst the garage that Blakey T and UK are like rivals. Blakey T went on record saying, "Oh, well, UK probably cheated in order to win." And Blakey then said, "Is like, well, if UK can win, I can win," and that's basically what is fueling his racing right now. Extremely clean battling. You can see that Blakey's giving a lot of room to Cyber. He's not pushing it going to the corner, and so is Cyber. You can see that big old gap right here. Everyone's pretty much single file except for the front 2. The 16 of Dakota, the 54 on Kalen. Kalen, who is on a controller, is definitely finding a little bit of difficulty kind of navigating Bristol. So because of that, he is looking for a good run here. Now, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit to right about here. Oh, actually, I guess need to go right here. This would be a little bit better. Oh, maybe it's next lap. Hang on. Yeah, right here. Looks like there is a caution that comes on out. And how it starts is, remember that pack of 5 that all kind of happened? Well, they're all in line right now. The 54 gets extremely loose. You have Piper that gets up loose. They hit Packers, who gets locked in the worst car. Dakota goes into Piper, and the 54 gets around all of them, and that brings out the first yellow. This is about 25 laps into the race, so everyone has to stop again, because you get like around like 75, 80 laps most on a tank of fuel and tires. So Cade and I were up in the booth talking about this, that they do need to stop again. So pit stops are still on the table for all this, and definitely you don't want to be the one to get the strategy wrong. So again, of course, to kind of briefly recap everything that's going on, we're going to kind of skip ahead a little bit. The racing gets on green. We won't see another caution the rest of the race. And because of that, Blakey T was able to have the inside, which did originally put him on the back foot, but that allowed a really good race between him and Cyber kind of show here. But because of that, Cyber showed that he did not have the best long run car, and Blakey did. So kind of like that friendly rivalry with UK, Blakey was showing that long run pace, and as we can see, as we just kind of go on around, Packer's trying to find his way through the field, but unfortunately, he's gone on record saying that he does indeed hate Bristol. He's not able to find it. Kalen moving his way forward. You have Dakota, who is moving forward. At this point, Baseball Kid and Piper have already DNF'd in the race. You can kind of see it along the front stretch right here. Baseball was first. Piper was second, one to leave. So that is 8 drivers left on track. After Dakota kind of backs it up into the thing right there, he is going to leave shortly. Yeah, right there. Nathan has found his way to P3, Cyber to, P4, and Cyber, but you can see how much of a gap that Blakey has, and as long as he just kind of minds his P's and Q's, he can actually just continue building that gap, which he does, as we just kind of skip on through. Pit stops begin to happen. Nathan, Brandon, Cyber was the first one to come on down, but Nathan and Brandon were like one of the last ones to come on through, and Blakey T with being the first one. The reason why there was a special exception for Bristol that you have to be extremely careful getting off the corner because of the car can actually just throw you. So a lot of these drivers were going up on backup track immediately. That's fine. Usually at any other track it's not. So just having that in the back pocket was allowed a lot of people to be a little bit more confident getting out pit road. So yeah, Cyber was not able to. He was able to get a lot of ground on fresh tires, but now that he doesn't have the freshest tires anymore, he starts getting run on down, and eventually we're going to see the 89, and then also in the background, the 51 start getting closer and closer. So because of that, these guys are now, the top 4 are the only ones on the lead lap. Blakey T is absolutely gone. The 89 getting closer and closer, eventually getting on past Cyber. And meanwhile, in the background, Packers is looking to, if a caution were to come out, fighting the leader in order to get the Lucky Dog spot, kind of reminiscent of how the Cup Series went, where him and Nathan was able to get on by and get the Lucky Dog right there. He is now trying to do the same. So because of that, we move on to Blakey T, who coming to the line was able to just storm on away, and because of that, going to the line with a little bit of flair, take it on home. So good job from him. Looks like Nathan was a lap there at the end. So the top 3 were the only ones left on the lead lap. Brandon, right there at the line, was able to snag P2, getting his first ever podium, and then Cyber rejoining his podium streak, so good job for that. Everyone said in their post-race interviews that their tires were shot, absolutely gone. So because of that, we have Blakey T, like I said, up in front. Brandon P2, Cyber P3. These guys, like I said, were the only ones left on the lead lap. The 51 of Nathan coming from his win at Atlanta to 4th at Bristol, and weirdly enough, that's where he finished in the Cup Series as well. So, hey, you know what? Top 5's a top 5. Yes, you want a podium. Everyone wants a podium. But you just kind of have to give as your take what you're given, you know? Packers rounding back to get a top 5. Also, finishing P5 at Atlanta. Weird how that works out sometimes. Kalen rounding out the Xfinity exclusives, leading the Xfinity exclusive, I should say, in this particular race. Because with most of these guys, Blakey all the way down to Packers, the top 5 are indeed Cup guys. Worst Cod having in the number 7, finishing in 7th. Weird how that works out. And then Dakota, Piper, and Baseball, with Dakota being the Xfinity exclusive here. So, what that means for the points, though, if we go to Monday now, is that Nathan having that advantage of Kalen, finishing 2 spots ahead of him in both races, finishing ahead with him winning the race, Nathan did, at Atlanta, and then finishing above him in Kalen and leading a lap. That has a 20-point advantage right now. So right now, Nathan is indeed leading the Monday day standings. Packers in P3, just consistency, and that's what he's known for. But it's extremely tight. To kind of compare, the top 5 is, I guess technically top 6. I'll say even the top 7, separated by 70 points. Meanwhile, if we look at Monday, the top 6 are 50 points. Monday is incredibly close. Because with most of the shuffling kind of going on around, Blakey making his first start, Brandon and Cyber making their first starts, with Brandon making his technical second start in the Xfinity season, but switching days, these guys are all at 1 race points. Everyone above this are at 2. So the standings are incredibly tight right now. So it's going to be fascinating to see, especially as we move on to the stats, which much like with Sunday, I'm going to be putting down 3 ones to watch and then 1 dark horse. I'm going to stick to it this time. So the number 3 on my in my hot ones to watch going into New Hampshire, I'll probably have to give. Oh, it's such a tough one because there's so many. I'll probably have to give to Kalen. Kalen being very consistent with his average start being 4th and his average finish being 4th. He's basically starting where he finishes. And today, bringing it home in P6 where he knew he was not going to be able to show the pace that he usually does. I've known Kalen as well, kind of like Casey on Sundays personally. And I know he's so much better with his wheel as opposed to a controller. And that's what he was stuck with his controller. So because of that, I feel like he's going to be the one of the ones to watch. He is number 3. Number 2, I'm probably going to have to give. I'm probably have to give to Packers. Yes, he hasn't had the best stats so far, but he is consistent, and especially this goes into the Cup Series. And I know he can get it done. Having long runs in Bristol just was a bad one. Atlanta, he got moved with, I think on the last lap, actually, finishing P5 there. And then Bristol just is not his best track, but still finishing P5. I feel like he can get it done. He just needs to go to a track that he knows he can do well at, and has been proven to do well at. So, like, tracks like the Roval's on the schedule for that. Pocono, tracks. Pocono's on the schedule, but I'm just saying, but like tracks that require strategy, especially road courses, which there's going to be some. Mid-Ohio is going to be the first one for the Xfinity Series. I feel like Packers will absolutely shine on those. So we'll see about that. And I feel like number 1 absolutely has to go to Nathan. Nathan currently is putting on a show, much like Xander and UKR on Sundays. Nathan, I feel like, is the one to beat. Now, I don't want this to be like a commentator's curse type of thing, but the stats don't lie. Average start of 4th, starting 4th at Bristol and Atlanta, and then winning at Atlanta and finishing 4th at Bristol, nets a 2.5 average finish. I think, barring anything crazy happening, because especially with Brandon and Cyber only making limited starts, there is a rule. I feel like that's what I've been saying a lot, saying that at the series creation, when the season starts, if you're in the top 5 at points, in cup points, you can only race X amount. So like it's 6 races. And Brandon and Cyber, Brandon technically has used 1 because he switched days. And then Cyber has used 1 as well. We are going to be monitoring this right here. They will not be title contenders, but Nathan is. Nathan was not in the top 5 at the point of this creation, so he could run. All of these guys could run full time if they wanted to. So we're going to see how that kind of shakes on out. So because of that, Nathan has to be the number 1 hottest guy. That sounded different. In the Monday Xfinity League right now, watch for him as we go to New Hampshire in 2 weeks. Now, the one for the dark horse. Now, this could be anyone, not even just series regular, but I feel like that has to be Blakey T. Blakey T, I know, made the Cup Power Rankings as well, and I'm going to put him in the Xfinity one because of his just consistency. I mean, he showed up at Bristol, and should he race at New Hampshire, I feel like he can get it done as well. Having that flat track experience, I've known Blakey. I've raced with Blakey for 2 games now, Heat 4 and Heat 5, and I know he can get it done. Watch for Blakey T come New Hampshire. And the final segment is the combined Xfinity Series points. I'm so excited for this because this shows the Xfinity guys in all their glory, showing who to watch out for and what all the Xfinity exclusives, who they're fighting against. Right now, like I said, the top 5 are going to be racing in Cup next season. Currently, these are the top 5. Kalen actually leading the points, combined point standings, but only by 5 points. Yes, they're on different days, with BS being on Sundays and Kalen being on Mondays, but only 5 points still separates that. So, because of that, Dakota is now P3, Trump Train and D's tied with P4 and 5. So, different days, but still, this shows how they kind of stack on up. And with Casey making more starts and Selling Dreams making more starts, we hope to see these guys up here in the top 5 as well, because it's going to get very, very close, especially as we go to tracks like New Hampshire, which are known for chewing their right rear, road courses as well, and then even when we go to Daytona, Daytona is going to be the one super speedway of the series, so I want to see how they do there. So because of that, we're going to wrap things up here. To kind of give a brief recap. Congrats to Sunday's winner. It's around here somewhere. To Sunday's winner, Mopower Cat, getting revenge and showing his rival Xander that he can get it done, as well as Blakey that hey, he can get it done legitimately. And then inversely, Blakey winning on Monday as well. So good job for them. Points very, very close, tied in Sunday, and 20-point advantage extend to Kalen. I feel like I said, Agent Orange, Nathan's the one to watch, and then these two are going to light up Sunday as well. So these two are going to be going neck and neck, trading blows especially. So we're going to see how that kind of shakes on out. So because of that, I'm going to kind of wrap things up here. This is your host, Private Patton, wishing you all thank you so much for watching this episode. We're going to be at Dover for the Cup Series. The Xfinity Series is off, and that'll be this Saturday at the day of this recording. So make sure you watch that. The July 3rd specifically, so if you're watching this after or before, that is where we're going to be, so make sure to catch on that. We're going to be live right here. After that, like I said, this is your host, Private Patton, wishing you all thank you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a good night, everyone. Peace.